Good to be with you. I'm Tony DeCopo. The breaking news right now. Mass casualty scene. Fatalities and at least 10 people injured, some critically, after an explosion at a pulp and paper mill in Washington state. What authorities are saying tonight about the cause and the risk to public health. Also developing, a pre-dawn explosion rocks a Michigan neighborhood. We're at the scene with what happened. And President Trump, closing in on his 80th birthday, undergoes a more than 3-hour medical checkup. What he's saying tonight about the results. Iran news tonight, warning it will retaliate after U.S. airstrikes to new threats to American military bases in the Middle East. Dangerous rescue operation, the race against time, and monsoon rains to save people trapped in a cave for a week now, oxygen running short. And remembering jazz saxophone legend Sonny Rollins, the last surviving artist from this iconic photo.
From CBS News headquarters in New York, this is the CBS Evening News with Tony DeCopo.
And good evening. We begin with that breaking news today from Washington state. A major chemical explosion, in the words of the governor there, resulting in what first responders have called a mass casualty event. It happened early this morning, local time, at a paper mill along the Columbia River there in Longview, about 40 miles north of Portland. And it involved a vat of chemicals used to turn rough wood pulp into soft tissues, wrapping paper, and other packaging. Our CBS News correspondent Jonathan Vigliotti now with what we know about what happened.
It looks like there's 3 people with chemical burns and 1 subject is missing.
Hazmat crews and fire trucks rushed to a paper mill in Longview, Washington this morning after a tank holding thousands of gallons of corrosive chemicals exploded.
We can also confirm there were fatalities related to the incident. We are not confirming or giving the information on their names until their families have been notified.
10 people, including a firefighter, were injured and transported to local hospitals.
At this time, officials have identified no immediate threat to the surrounding community, and we're still asking the public to avoid the area while we're still in the recovery phase.
A fire within the same complex destroyed a locomotion repair shop last summer. Meanwhile, a tank containing toxic chemicals in Garden Grove, California, 35 miles south of downtown Los Angeles, is no longer at risk of a major explosion. On Monday, first responders discovered a crack in the container, which authorities said helped release pressure and avert a worst-case scenario.
More than 50,000 people were evacuated. Many of them were able to return last night, though thousands are still displaced tonight. Officials are concerned about the possibility of a smaller explosion, Tony.
All right, Jonathan, thank you very much. We're going to turn now to western Michigan, where an explosion at 4 a.m. local time there destroyed a home and the car in the driveway, prompting dozens of 911 calls. CBS News correspondent Usher Qureshi is there. He's at the scene with doorbell camera footage of the blast. Usher, good evening. What do we know happened?
Good evening, Tony. Well, it's been more than 12 hours since the blast rocked this neighborhood. Debris can be seen on the roofs of adjacent homes, and windows all around are blown out. Even at this hour, remnants of what's left are still smoldering. A nearby Ring camera captured the massive explosion just before 4 a.m. that rocked a quiet neighborhood in Michigan's Plainfield Township.
Report of somebody outside the residence burns all their body.
The blast was so powerful it shook nearby homes and woke up neighbors.
We came out, we saw the glow of the fire, and it was just completely engulfed.
Police say one neighbor suffered burns when he helped pull a woman from the fiery wreckage, who was in critical condition, and a man was found dead.
You could see the windows were completely blown out like it was an interior explosion.
Nothing was left of the house but smoking debris and charred metal.
The blast itself, like I said, it's surprising that anyone lived through that.
Investigators are now looking into the cause of the explosion, but authorities believe this blast may have been a murder-suicide attempt by the man who was killed.
We really have determined at this point it was an intentional set blaze, and it was done through a domestic violence type situation.
And potentially the explosion caused by natural gas.
That's what we believe right now.
Police call this a tragic incident, but one that they believe was isolated. While they continue to investigate, they say there is no threat to the community at large. Tony?
Usher, thank you very much. We turn now to President Trump's medical checkup today. Now, most Americans over 65 are managing chronic health conditions, at least one or two, that according to the National Council on Aging. But the president said today his health checked out perfectly. Chief White House correspondent Nancy Cordes joins us with details. Nancy, good evening to you.
Tony, good evening. The White House is billing this as a routine annual dental and medical evaluation, though it's actually his third medical exam in the past year. All told, the president spent about 3.5 hours at Walter Reed Medical Center today. White House officials telling us we should get a readout from the president's doctor within the next day or so. Although, as you mentioned, Trump delivered his own report right after the visit, which he called a 6-month physical. He said, Tony, everything checked out perfectly.
So, Nancy, what do we know about the president's health as he prepares to celebrate 80 years on the planet?
Well, he was treated last year for chronic venous insufficiency, a fairly common condition for people his age. It can cause some swelling. He's also often seen with some bruising on his hands, which the White House has said is due to aspirin use combined with frequent handshaking. Otherwise, his doctor has said that his cardiovascular and neurological health are good, Tony.
All right, Nancy, thank you very much. The ceasefire with Iran, nearly 50 days old, is feeling less like a ceasefire these days, with new U.S. airstrikes overnight, renewed threats from Tehran, and President Trump set to huddle with top advisors tomorrow. Senior foreign correspondent MTS Tayyab has late developments now from Tel Aviv.
Iranian state-affiliated media aired this video of what it says is the remains of a U.S. MQ Reaper drone shot out of the sky by the Revolutionary Guard Corps. It also claimed an American F-35 fighter jet was fired at, forcing it to leave its airspace. We have no way of independently verifying Tehran's claims, but it followed a series of U.S. strikes in southern Iran overnight. In a statement, U.S. Central Command said, quote, targets included missile launch sites and Iranian boats attempting to emplace mines. Iran vowed retaliation, but for now, the ceasefire appeared to hold, as the U.S. and Iran worked towards agreeing a memorandum of understanding to end the war and reopen the Strait of Hormuz. But further complicating matters is Lebanon. Tonight, Israel's military has begun a wave of expanded strikes across the country to target the Iranian proxy Hezbollah. Tehran insists Israel's war with Hezbollah must end as part of any deal with the U.S., a potential deal many Iranians are watching warily. Brothers Karvan and Kavian recently fled Iran and spoke to us from an undisclosed location.
What is your message to President Trump before agreeing anything with the Iranian leadership?
It's not enough to just look at the regime. He has to see how the Iranian people suffer and how the regime is shedding their blood. They are a really dangerous regime. If they do this to their own people, just imagine what they would do to the rest of the world.
And President Trump is expected to gather his cabinet tomorrow for a meeting at the White House, where he will weigh a path to end the fighting with Iran or return to all-out war. Tony.
MTS, thank you very much. To weather now, about half a foot of rain caused life-threatening floods in central Texas yesterday, while a tornado touched down in Alabama, and the threat continues tonight. About 100 million Americans in the path of potential floods, hail, and more tornadoes. Meteorologist Rob Marciano tracking it all.
The holiday weekend weather woes continue today, with more severe thunderstorms and flooding rains. For much of the country, Memorial Day was a washout. This pool party outside Dallas was brought to an abrupt end by a thunderstorm bringing high winds and heavy rain. From Texas to Virginia, backyard barbecues stood soaked. The heavy rain came suddenly and caught many people off guard. Roads turned into rivers, with some vehicles needing help getting to higher ground. Even some hail in Fort Worth. And near Hattiesburg, Mississippi, the high water turned deadly. Police say a woman appeared to have misjudged a flooded road when she drove her car into a drainage ditch.
Don't really know exactly what took place of why, besides all the rainfall. I don't know if she was trying to get out or didn't know where the road was.
And this storm left a trail of damage across southern Alabama. The owner of this house said the family was out to dinner when a tornado picked up the home from its foundation and slammed it down into the ground. That tornadic storm possibly spawned from this cell to the south in Destin, Florida, where a water spout came ashore, sending holiday beachgoers running for cover. A wild beach day for sure. Nobody hurt, thankfully. That's where the action is. Again, the southeast today and parts of West Texas, and that's going to be the sore thumb into the Ohio River Valley really going through the next couple of days. So here we go. More in the way of flash flood warnings in West Texas. We had a wind gust, severe thunderstorm warning of 77 miles an hour in Swisher County. That watches up until 9 o'clock. Flood watches from New Orleans through much of Alabama into Atlanta, Georgia, through tonight, and the one in Ohio likely through tomorrow. We're more in the way of heavy rain, level 2 out of 4 for the potential of seeing some flooding there, and then more rain coming on Thursday as well. Another couple of inches as we head towards the end of the week before the pattern finally changes for the southeast this week, and you'll take it then. Meanwhile, the northern tier is heating up. Temperatures in the 70s, 80s, maybe even lower 90s across the northern states, and here in the northeast, finally some dry and warm weather. Some would say they would have rather had it over this past holiday weekend. Tony?
Rob, thank you very much. Jazz saxophone legend Sonny Rollins died yesterday at his home in Woodstock, New York. That's Rollins playing The Bridge, released in 1962 after 2 years of self-imposed exile, when, as the story goes, he practiced up to 16 hours a day from a spot on New York's Williamsburg Bridge. Rollins was the last surviving artist from this iconic photo, A Great Day in Harlem. It's called 57 jazz musicians gathered together in 1958. Miles Davis, who would have turned 100 today and was a legend himself on the trumpet, put Rollins in the same category as jazz giants like Charlie Parker and John Coltrane. The saxophone colossus, Sonny Rollins, was 95. Still ahead on the broadcast, CBS News exclusive video inside a dangerous cave rescue, the challenges for divers as they fight the clock. Also, a boat full of tourists ended its journey looking a lot different than when it began. What happened to cause this? We're back with a dark and claustrophobic effort to find 7 gold miners trapped for days inside a flooded cave in Southeast Asia. The terrain tight as a straw and difficult to navigate. This is exclusive video from inside one of the passages. But some hope tonight. The lead diver comes with experience from another high-profile rescue. Chief Correspondent Matt Gutman tonight with more exclusive reporting.
In pitch-black tunnels in a remote mine in central Laos, rescuers are risking their lives to save 7 missing miners. Officials say the artisanal gold miners, local villagers, became trapped 7 days ago, about 200 yards in, when early monsoon rains pummeled Southeast Asia, flooding the tunnel and turning the entrance into a soupy pit.
We haven't found them, but the operation is escalating a lot, and we have high hopes that they are still alive.
Miko Pasi is the lead rescue diver, instrumental in saving the youth soccer team from a cave in Thailand in 2018. He says this may even be more perilous.
The collapse risks are high because you're constantly touching the roof and his hand dug. There's no support anywhere.
As Miko and his teammate worm their way into the mountain, they are entombed in jagged rock. Oxygen is in short supply, and you can hear the rescuers heaving breaths. And going under the coffee-colored water means navigating by fingertip. And once in, it's too tight to turn around.
So 60 centimeters is about this big. So you're squeezing your body plus an oxygen tank or an air tank through something that's basically this wide.
If there's somebody in front of you, you're stuck, and there's no way to turn around until you hit the next chamber, which can be 100 meters forward.
And because of those perils, it's a breakneck rescue conducted at a snail's pace. Rescuers tell us if the miners are still alive, they face hunger, carbon dioxide poisoning, and hypothermia.
Do you still have hope for these miners?
They have the food even and some water with them, so of course I do hope and believe.
So what's next? Well, first rescuers have to find the miners, hopefully alive. Then the idea is to try to pump the water out of the cave so the miners either can crawl or walk out on their own. But I'm told that if they are somehow incapacitated, rescuers say it will be very hard to get them out alive. Tony.
Quite a story, Matt. Thank you very much. Up next, new video from our nation's top health official, getting a lot of views, sparking as many questions. Dozens of tourists returning from Alcatraz on Sunday got a shock when their sightseeing ferry slammed into the dock in San Francisco. A row of windows shattered on impact. Passengers held on. Some knocked off their feet entirely. No word yet on what went wrong. Now to a wildlife encounter posted today by Robert F. Kennedy Jr. Here we see the U.S. Secretary of Health and Human Services wrangling and removing a pair of black racer snakes from Dr. Oz's patio in Palm Beach. The snakes, we believe to be non-venomous, snap at his hands while he explains to his wife, Cheryl Hines, that the pair had been mating. We don't know why Secretary Kennedy posted this video, but there's interest in it. It's been viewed 6 million times and counting. It was just another day for police in Waco, Texas, until they got yet another call about one of these. A kangaroo hopping around town Monday, crossing the street, passing a car dealership, all after breaking free from a wildlife rescue. This is at least the third runaway kangaroo from that rescue since last September, or possibly a repeat offender. No comment from the facility. That's another day in America. I'm Tony DeCopel. We'll see you tomorrow from Hartford, Connecticut, as we go live from America. Good night.